she was in there somewhere. Ed, she was here somewhere.
No, she did. It was way back.
He's over that way. Shelley? Ed, Raquel? We may be streaming already, but I'm just waiting for the signal to indicate that we are, so one moment. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our home. Well, okay, so we have relocated, but I can't tell you how glad I was that it was pouring in the middle of the afternoon. Because, you know, once you make a decision to relocate because of the weather, and then of course the sun comes out or something, we thought it would be a perfect, glorious afternoon. Turns out it did rain, our backyard is wet, we'll do that another time. Here we are tonight. We are using the same service we would have used, which is the service we will also use at the beach next week. So this week we are here. I'm glad to be with you. We are still doing the potluck. If anybody would like to do the pool party, I think there's a puddle over that way that you can splash in afterwards. But another time, we'll have you all over another time, maybe not as one group, but in smaller groups. But Shabbat Shalom to everyone. I'm Rabbi Michael Feshbach, and the cantor tonight is all of you. So please join in. Page 2. Hine ma tov and ma yafeh. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet avim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, shevet avim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet avim gam yachad. Which means how wonderful it is to be together, even if we've relocated to an indoor location. And now, how wonderful, how beautiful is Shabbat, Ma Yafeh Hayom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Kabbalat Shabbat, the Psalms and songs with which we welcome Shabbat. We begin on page 3 with Lechuna Ranana and Shiru Ladonai, conveniently located on the same page so you don't have to flip back and forth. Lechu leranena, lechu leranena, lechu leranena, Ladonai. Lechu leranena, lechu leranena, lechu leranena, Ladonai. Naria, naria, lesori shenu, bismillah. Vana betoda, naria, naria, betsori shenu, bismirot naria lo, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Ladonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom liyom, Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom liyom, Yeshuato. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, Ladonai. Page 4. There are 3 readings, a selection of one of those readings in silent prayer for those of you who are online. Continue in personal prayer. Whichever paragraph you pick this week, read a different one at the beach next week. On page 5, we have Psalm 29. I have been eager to introduce this in one form or another and have not yet had a chance to do so. So because this will be a relatively brief service tonight, I'm going to take a moment to do a little bit of teaching. And as you know, I don't sing that well, so at some point Google this or use the YouTube for Shlomo Carlebach, Psalm 29, and you'll hear a better version. But the reason I included it in the beach service is because of the English. You can see on the bottom of the page, the voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders Adonai over the mighty waters. But those of you from a traditional background know that the Sefer Torah is taken out in a hakafa, a processional. And in a traditional service, there is a processional when you take the Torah out, and there is and what do we sing? Lecha Adonai Hagid, right? But there is another processional when the Sefer Torah is returned. Now, this isn't strictly conservative. We had 2 processionals at the Torah service of the Reform Synagogue in which I grew up. So it's not just a conservative or Orthodox thing. But generally, in the synagogues I've been at, we've done the processional only once. But what is sung as the Torah is returned is Psalm 29. And in most places that I have heard it, it has been a variation on this setting. Mizmor LeDavid. I'm not attempting to sing this correctly. I'm just doing the best I can. So in this case, unless you know it and want to join in, feel free, but you don't have to. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim. And it goes on and it builds up. The second paragraph, Kol Adonai chotzev lahavot esh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar. When I have somebody with me who can sing, and at some point when we have extra time and it's a short service again, I will introduce this more properly. It's a very powerful setting. The reason I've included it here for the beach service really is because of the reference to the waters. L'chad
And you'll have it larger print.
we'll have a magnifying glass eventually. I got this as enlarged as possible, but there are a few selections here that are a little bit small, so good luck. Listen, at least you're not flipping back and forth on the pages, right? So, there's a trade-off. Page 6. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la 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 l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki b'kor ha'baracha, Merosh mikdem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh v'machshavat chila la 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 dodi, Likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Hitorari, ki va'oret kumi uri shir taveri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla la 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 dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Rise and face the entrance. Boli v'shalom ateret ha'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzohala, Toch emunei am sivuha. Boli chala, la 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 l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat likrat kala, B'nei B'nei Shabbat Kabbalat. Again, it's a short service tonight, so I'll do a little bit of teaching. In a traditional setting, there's something that I've never felt comfortable with, which is that the beginning of the service on Friday night is so joyous and so upbeat that the tradition is that mourners, those who are within the 30 days of losing a loved one, stay outside until the end of the Kabbalat. They then will come into the synagogue, the sanctuary, after the end of the Kabbalat. But if you are ever at B'nai Jeshurun in New York on a Friday night, this is the space, this is the place where almost 1,000 people dance in circles around and continue with a joyous, upbeat L'chadodi. Next week we will read the top paragraph on page 7, but today the bottom one. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it." He was awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashavim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Olachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Page 9 on the left. Everything was God until God created everything. Chaos, unformed, shapeless, nothing. God fashioned order from the void. Vibrant darkness, dense brilliance, indistinguishable. God extracted day from night. One day after another, God created the ruses that govern the universe. Physics, chemistry, biology, the laws of nature and that do not bend. The strict justice that protects everything from returning. Chatzi Kaddish, page 10, we rise and we face east. Yitkadav v'yitkadash shemecha Yalma yivrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayei od yomecha u'chayei lechol beit Yisrael b'gala b'gala u'bitzman kariv v'nehu Yehei Shnei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam lo me'almaya Yitparach Yishtabach V'yipar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kedusha Le'la mikol birchata v'shirata Tushvehata v'nehemata Ta'amiran me'alma v'yimeru Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We face each other. Holy One of blessing, sovereign of existence, your word brings on the evening, and your wisdom opens heaven's gates. Together, if you can read the small print, your mind spans the arc of time and the cycle of the seasons. You are the physics behind the stars on their journey through the skies. Author of all distinction, you roll light away from darkness and darkness away from light. You cause the day to pass and bring on the night, separating day from night. You are the force of nature. May a sense of divine order guide us now and always. Blessed is Adonai, whose word makes evening fall. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 12. Evidence of your love is all around us, Eternal One, together. It is found in the dedication and determination of our people. It is in the guidance and direction we feel, our yearning for what is right and just. May we feel that power ever and always when we lie down and when we rise up to do your work. In our sense of the holy task before us. For justice is our light and our life, and our better world is our legacy and the length of our days. May your love and inspiration never depart from us. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam b'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shofbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'od decha v'hayu letodafo b'einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. Page 14. Together, doubting is but the forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation. A doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is still alive. To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are still to be uncovered. To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what shall be. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, no tehilot o seifele, no tehilot O Seifele Malchutecha V'ahuvanecha Bokei Hayam Lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Ze'ehiyanu ve'amru Adonai Imloch Adonai Imloch Le'olam va'ed V'ne'amar chifat Adonai Yaakov, Ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Hashtivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomeinu l'chaim. Hashtivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomeinu l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לרידותם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. When I marched in Selma, I felt my legs were praying. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. The Amidah, the Tefillah, beginning with the introduction, the bottom of page 17. We rise and we face east. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yadita milatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Ha'anurah, El Elyon, Romel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zoker Haseh Avot V'imahot, U'mevi'u Ha'yitnehem, Le'man Shmo Yahava, Melech Yoser V'Moshiach Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah Rav Hoshia, morid atah, mechakel chayim b'chesed, mechaye hakol b'rachamim rabim, somech noflim ve'rofei kolim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha al gevurot, umidom melech, melech negiv umechayem, umatzliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Hadel hakadosh. Continue in personal prayer. Middle of page 24, you may be seated. Oseh Shalom B'Momai, U'yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'yavo Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rachel v'Leah v'Yivarech v'Yirapeh et hacholim ha'ela. God who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, send your blessing and your healing, your comfort, and your hope to the following of our friends: Cynthia Baylor, Andy Wetzel, hello, Sonia Kaplan, Rabbi Bradley Bliefeld, Jill Wood. Are there any other names in the prayer for healing?
Goldwasser at Bruce Clay.
Miriam Tanton and the Vitrella family.
Mike Burke.
That's lovely. George Sarah McFarland. Nate James.
Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us heal, who brings us comfort. We will be fairly brief tonight, and Miriam and your girls, Izzy and Gray, I'd like you to help me in a minute. But before we do, let's turn back in this Siddur, which we are using at the beach next week as well, to page 20. On the bottom of page 20, imagine that you are sitting by our backyard pool with the sun shining, the leaves not soggy, the setting beautiful. Imagine that you are next week at the beach, and even if I didn't have to tell you to turn to face Jerusalem, you would naturally want to turn to look at the water, although actually Atlantic City is slightly askew, so it's not straight at the beach, it's slightly this way to look towards Jerusalem from the Margate Beach. Imagine the most powerful settings, or imagine that it was here, with an Israeli Reform rabbi who's, by the way, just moved to Rochester, or Zohar moved to Rochester, on the night before your granddaughter's bat mitzvah. Or imagine what can you think of? What do you remember as one of the most moving, the most powerful Shabbat experiences of your life? And that was a question, and it wasn't rhetorical. So in a minute I'm going to stop talking, and somebody else is going to say something.
Remember the night of my bat mitzvah?
What?
I remember the night of my bat mitzvah.
The night of your bat mitzvah.
My bat mitzvah.
Okay.
A few years ago.
And was your bat mitzvah, well, I said Shabbat, so it could be Friday night or Saturday.
It was
So.
Friday night.
Oh, you had a Friday night bat mitzvah.
Orthodox synagogue.
Orthodox. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Wow. Somebody else. What was the most powerful Shabbat of your life? Maybe it was at Camp Ramah.
Sing it. Mark grew up Judah, sorry. And his mother was very involved with his father in Soviet Jewry. And so the Soviet refuseniks were freed, came to America. We saw them when they came in at JFK. They came here, they had dinner at my in-laws' house. We brought them to the synagogue, and the place just erupted in just this joyousness and the Torah, and we were all dancing
Everyone
around.
was dancing around.
Oh, wow.
It was
That was nice.
amazing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Matir Asurim. Blessed are you, God, who redeems captives. Wow. Wow. Anyone else? Phyllis.
Shabbat, I spent in Paris, I went to the student group, and I was amazed that in the prayer book I studied French, but oh my goodness, here is Hebrew and here is French, and I could read
Ekute Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, right?
And then, afterwards I went down to meet a very old religious family, and some visitors from America came with a camera
Right.
And then they said, we understand, you don't have to translate.
Wow. Anyone else? One of the most moving Shabbats, one of the most powerful Shabbatot of their life.
I just remember one, we weren't really raised practicing, but my father was raised as an Orthodox Jew, and, we were at services for something having to do with my nephew, and my father and my grandfather went up to the Torah after never, having been there for years and years, and they both, read from the Torah. It was, like, unbelievable to me.
Wow.
After not,
After
not-
being apart for so long, to reconnect. Wow, in a powerful way. Wow. Shelley?
Many years ago, my mother and I went to Israel together, and it was during Purim, and Purim fell on a Friday night. So we went to synagogue in Jerusalem for Purim, and talk about Purim in Israel. Unbelievable. And that was the best Shabbat and the best Purim I ever had.
And all the kids in everybody in costumes.
Everybody,
By the way,
adults,
the
all over the
next
street.
morning,
All over the
I
street.
have been in Israel for Purim twice, and I do want to report something that you see on the morning after Purim. Now remember that one of the commandments on Purim is to cover her ears, drink so much that you can't tell the difference between the bad guy and Mordecai, right? So what do you see in Jerusalem on the morning after Purim?
People in the streets.
Dozens and dozens of yeshiva buchers who aren't used to drinking passed out on the street. It's quite a sight. It's really quite an amazing thing to see. A reminder that in this day and age where many of us drive to synagogue, we don't observe that in quite the same way. Just saying, Purim's a long way away. This year we are observing Purim on a Friday night here. For me, the most powerful Shabbat of my life was also in Israel, but it was actually, unbelievably, in Tel Aviv. And it was my encounter with the group that meets on the beach called Beit Tfilah Yisraeli in July and August on the port in Tel Aviv. But I'll tell you more about that. I've shared it a little bit already. I'll do that another time. For now, Miriam, are the girls ready to help? We are continuing with Aleinu, which in this Siddur is on page 25. And as we continue on page 25, Raquel, can you come up and help with the other door? So if you guys can get one door, and Raquel will get the other one. On page 25, it slides to the side, so just figure, there we go. Please rise. Thanks, guys. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'yom, l'atei tigula li'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzo, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam Elokeinu kahem, v'gol aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'lokim, lifnei melech malchei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when you can, get the arcors. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, b'govei meromim. U'Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu efesu lato, kakatu. V'yedata hayom b'hashevota el levavecha, Echad, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, Bashamayim Mima'al, Ve'al ha'aretz, Ve'al ha'aretz, Mitachas, Ein Od, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, I will read this as an introduction on page 27. Next week, because it's small print, I'll probably read the one on top. To open eyes when others close them, to hear when others do not wish to listen, to look when others turn away, to seek to understand when others give up, to rouse oneself when others accept, to continue the struggle even when one is not the strongest, to cry out when others keep silent, to be a Jew. It is first of all that, and further, to live when others are dead, and to remember what others have forgotten. We remember at this time those of our congregation's beloved whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat: Zelda Abrams, Harriet Aaron, Dr. Sidney Beinfest, Sophie Binnenstock, David Bogdanoff, Barbara Collier, Louis Goldstein, Mildred Gould, Tenny Hanningbaum, Hilda Hershen, Florence Herkheimer, Rose Hyman, Ada Kaplan, Molly Cajun, Florence Kirshner, Henry Klein, Sarah Kohlberg, Carrie Krieger, Patty Moldauer, William Newman, Samuel Nisman, Sandra Parlin, Sophie Rosenberg, Ruth Newman Shapiro, Faye Schussman, Morris Summerson, Pauline Sternberger, Ethel Weinstein, Carol Weiss. During this period of Shloshim, the 30 days following her death, we mention the name of Selma Portnoy, and I ask if there's anyone else here to say Kaddish for someone whose name I did not mention. The memories of all of our loved ones are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn now to page 28 and rise as a congregation for Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's Kaddish itself. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Allah, v'alma divrach gerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabam borach le'olam olmei almaya, yitzparach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitznaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei v'kudusha b'reichu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'broma, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol Yishvatevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all the bereaved among us and wherever they may be, all those who are suffering the pain of loss everywhere, and together let us say. Amen. Please join us for a moment as we listen to announcements by Linda Karp. Please be seated. And we will conclude in a moment on page 30.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everybody that is here tonight and to everyone who is watching from home. I know we have some guests with us this evening, and we are so happy that you can share your Shabbat with us. Please join us following the service in the Weiss lobby as we will have candles and Kiddush. Shabbat morning study will be at 9:15 tomorrow on Zoom only for the rest of the month of July. Next Friday, as Rabbi has already mentioned, we will have our beach service. Because we did not get to be at his home tonight with his beautiful pool, we're gonna have a doubly nice weather next Friday. So, yes, so, please make sure you bring your beach chair. It's really beautiful on the beach. I will say, if you have any trouble walking, get there a little bit early because they run out of parking. But it is on Huntington Avenue Beach in Margate at 5:30. On August the 2nd and August the 9th, Rabbi Feshbeck and Julie will be away on vacation and Rabbi Weiss will be here. So please try to join us for those 2 Shabbat services. And the next J Place book group will meet on Wednesday, August the 28th. The selection is The Boston Girl by Anita Diamond. I do want to thank everybody that brought dinner this evening for our potluck dinner. And so if you're joining us following services and following Kiddush, we will be in the auditorium. And Susan is out of the room right now because she's been running around down there in the kitchen, heating up things and getting things ready. And I know Shelley went out to help her. So even though they're not in the room, we thank the 2 of them for all that they're doing. And thank Rabbi and Julie for offering their home. And we look forward, to doing it at another time. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And lest we finish too early, I will add another random announcement about Yom Kippur. I had just made arrangements on Yom Kippur afternoon. We are going to hear Jewish journeys from some of you at 1 p.m. You said you won't be willing to speak at that, so we're going to talk to you later. But at 2 p.m. on Yom Kippur afternoon, Linda, you said you could share your story.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yes.
At 2 p.m. on Yom Kippur afternoon, Saturday, October 12th, the new director of the Holocaust Center at Stockton, Irvin Rodriguez, will be speaking here about the legacy of Gail Rosenthal, about what's going on at the Holocaust Center now and its vision for the future. I'm really delighted to have that opportunity to provide something of great substance and meaning in the middle of the afternoon on Yom Kippur, so you'll hear more about that later on. Shabbat Shalom. You know, I wanted to do something a little bit different at each of these services, but I think we should practice page 30. Because that's, right on a beach. This is a picture of the Virgin Islands in the background there, so Margate doesn't quite look like this. But on the bottom of the page first, let's read together Wellfleet Shabbat. I'll be there in early August, so this is me anticipating our vacation. But we'll read that and then we'll turn to Eli Eli to close. The hawk eye of the sun slowly shuts. The breast of the bay is softly feathered dove gray. The sky is barred like the sand when the tide trickles out. The great doors of Shabbat are swinging open over the ocean, loosing the moon, floating up slow, distorted, vast, a copper balloon just sailing free. The wind slides over the waves, patting them with its giant hand, and the sea stretches its muscle in the deep purrs and rolls over. The sweet beeswax candles flicker and sigh, standing between the flocks and the roast chicken. The wine shines its red lantern of joy. Here on this piney sand spit, the Shekhinah comes on the short, strong winds of the seaside sparrow raising her song and bringing down the fresh. Eli, Eli, Shelo yigamer le'olam, ha'chol ve'hayam, v'yishru shel hamayim, be'rach hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam, ha'chol ve'hayam, v'yishru I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer. Shabbat Shalom. Please return these services if you do want to keep them with you for a little bit longer for candles and kiddush. Please feel free. But otherwise, we join together in the lobby. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Bye, a couple months from now, after.